And welcoming back to the Rich Eisen Show, two gents who are part of a juggernaut of a television show. I'm keeping my children at bay out of my home office to bend the ears of the stars of American Ninja Warrior, 12th season of American Ninja Warrior that is premiering on Mondays at 8 Eastern and Pacific. And it is a pleasure to have back on the show Akbar Gbajabiamila and Matt Iseman. How are you, gents?
Well, we're doing good. It's another season. We're super happy that we're able to pull it off. We almost thought we weren't going to be able to do it, but right. NBC did an amazing job pulling this thing off.
Really, as we see the NFL getting ready to start, we have an appreciation for what they did. And it was kind of fitting that the only way we could pull this season off, we normally shoot in 6 cities around the country and then end up in Vegas. We went to St. Louis. We did it all in about 2 weeks. We shot at the Dome at America Center, which is where the Rams used to play. So, Rich, you know it. You know the space. 80,000-seat dome, completely empty. And no one in the crowd, no one on the sidelines. And Akbar and I kept talking about this. You'd think it would have felt empty, but the energy, I think everyone was so grateful to be out of their homes, and they knew how fortunate we were to be able to do this thing that we love in the midst of the pandemic, that the energy actually was crazy. It was crazy good. We were all excited to be there, and we knew what it meant to be there during this.
Yeah, and then also too, implementing the virtual experience, being able to pipe in the friends and family via the virtual experience and having them there to cheer them on. Matt and I were concerned. We thought, like, man, are we still going to be able to have our enthusiasm? And we did. The only thing that was tricky, though, in that space, 80,000 fans aren't there. So every time that Matt and I would go back and forth, the competitors could hear our commentary. And so although it was distracting, it was also, so they knew everything we were saying.
If fans think Joe Buck is biased, wait till Aaron Rodgers stops in the middle of a play and goes, Joe, what are you talking about here?
I can hear you.
I can hear you pulling against Green Bay.
I can hear every word you're saying. So is that right? Some of the competitors, like
one of them said, "Hey Akbar, tell me another way I could screw up this obstacle I'm on." But we're not going to be Jim Nance, Rich. We're not going to be in there. Real fine approach here.
That's right.
We're not going to whisper.
We thought about doing it. But we thought, nah, that's not the ninja flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've got to do that at the Combine, which is the only other experience I would ever have about having an event in a virtually empty stadium. You just hear, the hum of the air conditioning unit in the place and a bunch of the beeps, the stopwatches every 2 seconds. It's like a laboratory.
And heavy breathing.
Right. So I would always, but it would be some action, when somebody runs a great 40-yard dash. So I kind of had to do a little bit of that Nance golf voice. I got to keep.
Why? Why though? I've always wanted that, Rich.
Because it's first of all, you never want Tom Coughlin staring at you to keep it down. Like that's number one. Okay. That's the first thing. You never want that Tom Coughlin stare of like, who the hell is screaming? I'm trying to figure out what my right tackle is going to be with his 10-yard dash time, his split. And it's just, I don't know, there's kind of like a Zen quality to it. But obviously your action does not lend to anything but the way that you
we had a lot of discussions. We ended up putting a little bit of crowd noise in. And some of it was the actual friends and family cheering. But there were two reasons we did it. One was Akbar and I, when we're going, we're very loud. But for us, it was actually helpful to have that crowd noise because it helps kind of guide our energy as well. But I think also for the ninjas, and it's something that, I've been watching sports, and Rich, I'd be interested to hear your take on it. And Akbar, you too. But I think some of the reasons these young guys like Morikawa on the PGA, I think it's probably been easier for them to come out and play without the crowds, because the crowds, I think, will get your energy going. And if you don't know how to handle it, I think it's a different beast. But for some of the athletes, I think they miss it. They miss that adrenaline rush. And I think it's different, but I think it is tougher for the athletes to perform. But our ninjas really, it was just breathtaking, the performances we saw. And I think that, again, the gratitude to be there really propelled them to these unbelievable performances.
And Matt, I'll say this, and I've truly felt this. I know we haven't had the preseason, and the NFL have had kind of, the inter squad scrimmages and stuff like that. But there's nothing that replaces, having the fans. And some stadiums will allow 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. But That's not the same. Look, I played at San Diego State. No knock to my alma mater, but I know what it's like to play in a big stadium with not that many fans. And when you make a big play, you're so intoxicated by the energy and you're so used to that. And when you don't have that, I mean, it can bring the level down. I mean, and so learning how to manage the expectations of the crowd and the atmosphere is going to be another obstacle, I think, for a lot of these athletes, because none of them have really probably played unless they played at a small school. Those are probably going to be the only athletes who can make the quick adjustment.
Yeah. I mean, Steve Mariucci was just mentioning this comment. He mentioned it to us as we were getting ready for game day morning preview show this week on NFL Network, that the players that are about to play in the NFL season, that even some of their youth football games with all the parents there might have more fans at those games than the ones that are about to play in some of these NFL stadiums. Like, forget about college and forget about even high school, like youth soccer, like youth football games, Pop Warner games have more screaming parents at it in some of these stadiums that will have no fans in it, but crowd noise pumped in. It's going to be a weird thing.
I think so. I think the first week, because I imagine the players have been through what we've all been through, being locked down. And granted, they've been in some training camps or at least practices now,
right?
Where they're around each other. But I think there's going to be something about them where they knew this season was in jeopardy, and they've seen how basketball has struggled and they've done it, but baseball's having their knocks. And I think all of America is ready for football to come back. So I think the first few games are going to be crazy, but mid-season, unless we start seeing crowds come back, it'll be interesting, right? To see, Cam Newton in New England with total silence instead of.
Well, I mean, Cam Newton's going to be. You want to think it's crazy? Cam Newton week 2 is going to be in Seattle with no crowd noise.
Oh.
It's just going to be a fascinating thing, and it's interesting how you are pointing out what your athletes and your competitors in American Ninja Warrior went through. I got Matt Iseman and Akbar Gbajabiamila here. Matt, you're wearing your Broncos lid.
Yeah.
Von Miller.
Oh, don't even bring it up, Rich. Why you got to do this?
I kind of have to. It looks like he's going to be done for the year here.
It's just heartbreaking, and he's a game changer, and I think not just on the field. I think as a leader too. And so to lose that presence is going to be tough, especially because I think the offensive side is going to be interesting with locking a lot of new talent, but not having a defense on lockdown. When you mentioned it, I mean, Mahomes and the Chiefs, we're all going to be playing catch up to them, I think, for a long time. So the AFC West, Akbar, I know your Raiders are in the same boat.
I love Von. That's my guy right there. But you know what I mean? That's just better for my Raiders. You know what I mean? That's one team we don't have to worry about. Yeah. It will be interesting to see what Melvin Gordon looks like as a Bronco. I'm really curious to see how he fits into that run scheme.
Well, what about the Raiders? I was just saying that on the show this week, Akbar, that's one of the teams I have no earthly idea. They went 7-9 last year, and they can be 3-4 games better and be a surprise, competitor for the Chiefs in the West, or a completely different story. How do you see the Vegas Raiders playing out?
Well, the Vegas Raiders, I think there's going to be that energy from being in a new place, new team, but I'm not quite sure myself. Look, there's not a lot of film right now to see, how they've improved outside of some of the reports and some of the things that you've gotten in and out. But I do believe I'm still a big believer in John Gruden and his ability to get those guys systematically. They've added some new pieces as well. I thought Marcus Mariota was really going to be a big push to Derek Carr. It doesn't sound like the word coming out of the camp that's been the case. But I really do believe that Derek Carr needs that push, somebody who can keep him kind of on his edge, because we saw, 2-3 years ago when he kind of blew up and we were going, oh, there's something here. And since then, we've seen a little bit of a regression. But, regression to me doesn't mean that you can't pop back up. So I don't know, to be quite honest. This is the one year I can say that even though as a fan, as a former player, I'm optimistic about the Raiders, I just don't know enough about what the Raiders are built of.
What a loss with that new stadium opening.
I know.
Because that, I think, would have been one of the best places. Look, the Broncos are going to play there every season. And my friends and I already had that on the schedule. We were going to go there. And I think for them to be in a new place and not have any crowd energy there for a team that I think was ready to be embraced in Vegas, I think that'll be really tough for them too.
Well,
I love as a Broncos fan.
Well, I will say this. I'm going to break some news here on your show, Rich. Are you ready?
Akbar, yes.
Okay. I am actually in the process of trying to get fans back into the stadium. So I have had nothing but time during the quarantine to make
this is Shark Tank stuff here, Rich. Get ready.
You ready?
Okay.
This is what's going to get fans back in. I've designed this feature right here.
It's like
allows fans to get into the game, and you can also, look at that, you can eat. I've got the patent on it. Got a provisional patent on this thing. So you see this right here? It breathes well, anti-fog, and it allows you to be able to, it's got filters here. You can see the filter there. You can see the filter there. I want fans back in the stands.
So
as a player and as an announcer, I can't imagine not having that energy. So I've already been on the phone with the Spanos. So we've had conversations.
Okay.
Talked to the league office. I'm trying to get this pumped out. I'm trying to get a partnership with big companies right now to be able to mass produce this. So I've been getting the conversation rolling. So hopefully, it probably won't happen for the NFL football season, but perhaps for the college football season, you'll see my mask out there.
The Yogi Berra mask.
I have some follow-ups.
Okay. All right. Yep. Go ahead. I'm ready. This is Shark Tank on Rich Eisen.
That's right.
No. I know. By the way, if I was a shark, I'd be interested in investing. It's an interesting idea. What do we call it? What do we call it?
It's Cover 2 mask.
The Cover 2 mask.
Get it? Cover 2, 1.
Now, but the whole concept of, again, here's a follow-up. The whole concept, again, for the radio audience, that it opens up like right around above the mouth, and the chin goes down and opens up a clear path to the mouth for your hot dog, your nachos, your beer,
That's right.
what have you. But doesn't that also allow whatever air you're trying to keep out, in or out? Doesn't that now, don't we have a problem here? Do we have a leak?
Yeah, there you go. And so I spoke with the infectious disease specialist for the CDC, and this was some of the concerns that they had. But the idea is that you're not necessarily going to stop everything 100%.
Yes.
But it does minimize. So there's an automatic retraction. So as soon as you pull it down and you eat, it goes right back up. It's extended from the face, and this allows you to eat and chew. Now, yes, there is a little bit of exposure once you have it, but everyone's not going to be eating at the same time. And while you're eating, everything is contained. So those respiratory droplets aren't going, because what we do know right now is that when you're yelling, that's when all of those respiratory droplets are just moving, and you have a cloud of those potential COVID-19 floating in the air. Well,
so I guess
everything contained.
So I guess as long as nobody's yelling while eating, we're in good shape.
That's
Rich, you found the one weakness, those yell eaters.
That's going to be physically impossible. How are you going to like
Joey Chestnut? Joey Chestnut will not be allowed in the Raiders.
Joey Chestnut,
no cover two in Coney Island.
Right.
On July 4th.
I got to say, Rich, I've known Akbar now for, I guess it's 9 years. This guy is one of the hardest working guys.
No doubt.
He came up with this on his own. This really is an idea that spawned from him and his passion for getting people back in. So if he lets me, I'm gonna be the first shark in.
I bet.
All right.
I'll be too.
I just won't have Cubans' money. It'll be like a McDonald's gift certificate.
I guess my last question for you, Matt, is what do you have in your man cave that can help save the universe? Do you got anything in there?
I've got.
What do you got? Okay.
This.
It's a Matt Iseman head on a stick.
He is a doctor. He is a doctor.
I got so excited. This is for those who remember the Jetsons. You remember Jane Jetson would get on and she just put this up. Yeah, me. I didn't shower today. I might have to. Now, Rich. Now I'm TV ready.
Look at that. That's blue steel.
And it blocks my respiratory droplets. It's my head on a stick for the radio audience. And who doesn't have their head on a stick?
Oh my! I wish I had something in here. I honestly,
Rich, you've got even better. You've got yourself running a 40 and a silhouette as your logo. That's outstanding.
I do have that. That is amazing. Going for me. I've got going for me. Hey guys, it's always a blast having you on. It's great to see American Ninja Warrior back. You know, I hear all the time, hey, it's so great to have the NFL back. It's great to have you guys back. My family, it's must-see TV. You can see past seasons on Peacock. You can also check out American Ninja Warrior on Monday nights for the foreseeable future. And I thanks for doing it.
Always.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it, Rich. That's awesome.
Thanks, Rich.
You got it. That's Akbar Gbajabiamila and also Matt Iseman here on The Rich Eisen Show.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.